Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking. And of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're having a great week so far. Today is Friday. It's Erev Sukkot. It's Erev Shabbos. Everybody's putting together their lulav and esrog and building their sukkahs. And today's Hayom Yom for the 14th of Tishrei is all about the different minhagim for sukkahs. And of those, one of them is to put together the lulav and esrog actually in the sukkah this afternoon. So today's Hayom Yom is talking about these traditions, but here's a little bit of a background to why we actually bind the lulav and esrog inside the sukkah, as well as tradition is to shake the lulav and esrog over Yontiv in the sukkah itself as well. Now, the mitzvah of sukkah is a more encompassing mitzvah where we sit inside, and we're sitting inside this hut. We're sitting inside the sukkah. By us sitting inside and being wrapped by the sukkah, that is the mitzvah. And it's a more of a transcendent mitzvah. It's a very spiritual mitzvah. It says that the source for the sukkah comes from the clouds of glory. So that on Yom Kippur, when they would burn the kataris and the smoke that would come out, the smoke represented the teshuvah of the Jewish people. And it went to such a high level that this is what created the clouds of glory. And that is what the sukkah is all about, that this is the source, the Inanei HaKavod, which is the clouds of glory. This is what the sukkah is when we're sitting inside it. It's a very high level. However, we need to bring this transcendent spirituality and all this kedusha and all this holiness to us and apply it to us and make it a part of us. So how do we do that? So when we take the lulav and esrog and we put it together inside the inside the sukkah, and we start to put it together, that begins of tying and bring the spirituality to ourselves. And eventually, when we shake the lulav and esrog, each one of those motions, the back and forth, that's what brings all those emotions and all the different kedushas, all the different spiritualities into that person. So it's no longer just a spirituality or a higher level. It's actually something that becomes part of us and bringing the mitzvah together. And that's the idea of binding the lulav and esrog inside the sukkah and also shaking the lulav and esrog in the sukkah. It brings all that together. Let's read the Hayom Yom inside. And again, when the Rebbe brings down a lot of the traditions in the minhagim of Chabad, it's to emphasize really what we do as opposed to some other types of Hasidim that have other different traditions. So for the 14th of Tishrei, let's read inside. The year that the Hayom Yom was put together was 1943. That was actually a reason that they needed Erev Tavshilin. So here it talks about if you need Erev Tavshilin to do it. Also, we say that no more than 2 aravas, which are 2 willow twigs, are taken. One may, however, take more than 3 myrtle twigs. So we have 2 different parts that are included with the lulav. You have the myrtle, which are known as the hadassim, and then you have the aravas, which are the willow. So traditionally, we have 2 willow and 3 myrtle, or 3 hadassim. However, the minhag is, on the willow, you can't take more than 2. However, on the hadassim, there was a minhag to take at least the 3, and many people take more. And minhagim were there, people had 6, people had 9. So you'll see that when you looked at pictures of the Rebbe's lulav and esrog, how many hadassim and how beautiful his lulav and esrog was. Moving forward, to perform the mitzvah in a optimum manner, one makes a point of binding the lulav with the hadassim and the aravas in the sukkah on Erev Sukkot. And that's what we were talking about, to put together your lulav and esrog inside the sukkah. And then the last part. 2 rings made of leaves of the lulav are bound around the lulav alone, higher than the other 3 rings that will be bound on the lower ends of the hadassim and the aravas. So there's going to be 5 rings that are on your lulav and esrog. 3 will be on the bottom, within 1 handbreadth, and then you'll have 2 on the top of the lulav, on the actual lulav itself. One should endeavor to see that these 2 rings are hidden by the upper ends of the hadassim and aravas. Even the upper rings should be at least partly concealed. In addition, these 2 rings, the hadassim and arvas, are bound to the base of the lulav by 3 rings, which should be all tied within the space of a tefach. So again, kind of what we were saying, the 3 rings will be on the bottom. That will bind everything together, the lulav, the arvas, and the hadassim. And the 2 that are going to be on the top of the lulav should be together, but also they should try to be covered by the arvas and the hadassim, or partly covered, so they're not just standing plainly above. So have a super duper sukkos. Have a great yontif. This is the time of simcha, of happiness. Enjoy with the family. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Shabbos, and we'll talk more later. All the best. A good yontif. Chag Sameach. A good Shabbos.